Mr. Trevor Ford, thank you so much for receiving us at your home in our special program, Lifestyle. Before we start to talk about, let's say, Andalusia, Costa del Sol, what was your profession before you came to Spain? What you did before you came to Spain?
Engineer in the aircraft industry. I work for British Aerospace and the Ministry of Defence. The company I work for.
Okay.
Yes.
How long did you did that? Your whole life?
I started in Hove in Sussex in England as a toolmaker. I wanted to be an engineer. I didn't want to be anything else.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. You would like to be an engineer?
I was making things. During the war, I used to make model aircraft when I was young.
Nice.
1942, 43. Because I was alive during the whole of the war, because I was born in 1934.
Like my mum, yeah.
And consequently, doing things with my hands. I'm making gliders, and I thought,
Creative.
that's what I want to do, make things, create things.
Yeah, creating. So, when did you start and when did you finish?
I started and I was 17.
That's very early, very young.
Yes, because I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
So I said to my father, look, the only way is to get an apprenticeship, to get into things before I'm too old. Most people go to university and then say, oh, I'll have a gap year and make a right hash of it. And they don't get a job because they're too old. They've left it too late to start. I thought, well, if I've got my apprenticeship under my belt by the time I'm sort of 21, 22, I have a piece of paper, which I still have in my bedroom.
How nice.
To say that that's what I've been doing for 5 years. And I worked hard at it. I used to do 1 full day and 2 evenings for 5 years. And at the end of that, I was qualified.
And as well, inventing things or?
Well, the things we actually made, the company I work for that gave me the apprenticeship, they made things for typewriters, the arms for typewriters and press tools, made jigs, molds, all sorts of things. Smith's Electric, clocks.
Did you make any invention yourself? Or that you can say, well, this is mine, or I have been working on that?
I made a quick release thing for Concorde.
The Concorde plane?
Yes, I worked on it for 25 years with the same company. Once I'd found the company that worked for British Aerospace, that's where I stayed, because I knew we'd have all the work we needed, and I wouldn't have to say, oh, I've got to leave this company and find another one. First of all, I worked for Metal Box Company in the technical engineering side, making, or when you put the tops on cans, you've got just the tube, then you've got to put the top on, the food in it, and then like they do today. It's a hell of a noisy place because you're adjusting things all the time until you get it right. I can remember the ham used to come in ham-shaped cans. It still does today. Tinned ham is ham-shaped. Well, I can remember making the machine with other chaps.
Unbelievable.
To get it so that it puts a top and bottom on.
And that was because British, what I call it British Airways, they had a Concorde, wasn't it?
Oh yes, Concorde in England, I worked on 002.
And that is 002?
That number.
Ah, okay.
Because remember there were, I forget how many planes, 16 I think they made altogether. We made all the even numbers, and Toulouse made all the odd numbers.
Yeah, Toulouse, yeah.
Because if you drive past there, as we used to sometimes going places, you'd see bits and pieces that you say, oh yeah, the bits of Concorde have to go in this plane because it's big.
So you were employed, let's say, 25, 30 years.
Yes, oh yes, fully.
All full-time job.
And aircraft, TSR-2 was a beautiful aeroplane, but it cost too much money. So they scrapped it. All of a sudden, one day we were near the end of it, they were already made, and they took all the drawings away and said, sorry, it's not being made. But when Concorde came along, well, that was the start of it.
Was because Concorde was only for a short time.
Quite. But the makeup, the build-up for say, the engine parts, TS,
Was that too expensive or?
Cost on the arm and the leg, yes, to make. But the actual materials you were using were very expensive. You mustn't scrap anything. You're out the door if you scrap anything. You couldn't make mistakes. That was it.
Yeah.
There were no mistakes. And what you made looked beautiful.
How many engineers? You were one of them. But how many engineers, how many heads together to find new elements?
Well, I mean, in my firm, there were 50 people. And more or less, they were capable of making everything. Anything in the industry of aircraft,
yeah,
they were capable of making. And helicopters, bits and pieces for that. I made 4 helicopters down in Yeovil in Somerset. We had all sorts of things coming along. I mean, a typical example was what's the American company in Seattle? All American aircraft are built with this company.
Boeing.
Boeing. They had engineers that couldn't quite manage to do what they were doing, and they were scrapping the things. They were manufacturing things, but they were making mistakes. And so our firm got the contract, put it all right, and send it back. And so they came to the firm and said, who were the people that made the various bits and pieces, came over and was leaning on my machine, and he was looking at it saying, wow,
Can imagine.
how do you, on this Cincinnati that I had, a big Cincinnati, he was saying, but it's beautiful, it's...
So, Mr. Ford, or Trevor, if I may say.
No, it's
30 years working in the same company, and after that, you wasn't 65. I mean, which is for nearly all Europe the limit to say till there more or less, and you get retired. What age you retired?
No, I actually retired when my wife was offered early retirement from teaching. She was coming up to her 50th birthday.
Teaching school?
Yes, in school. She was head of PE and head of middle school of 1,600.
Wow.
And she was in charge of 800.
Wow.
She was responsible for them.
I would say. That's a lot.
I mean, well, up here, clever girl.
The CD was going
and
around.
Bright, and she was good at her job. As a sports person, she could do everything, and she was brilliant at it. Played for the county, south of England,
Wow.
And taught tennis, hockey, badminton, squash, you name it, she taught it. And Claremont, where she was, had a reputation that when girls used to say, which school would you like to go to? Oh, Claremont. Everybody wanted to go to Claremont, that was sporting, because the cupboard was full of all the trophies of the whole of Brent, which is a big area, bigger than this part of the
And when
world.
did you met your wife?
Oh, going way back. I was going
You were
up-
working at the
I was
at
working.
the airspace.
I was working in the south of England then,
Yes,
in Hove in Sussex,
yes.
when I was doing my apprenticeship.
And that your age there was around 25, 23, 25,
23.
23.
And my wife to be was at Bishop Otter, which is a training school for teachers for teaching,
Yeah.
literally. And Pauline, where we lived in Brighton, was a friend of mine. You know, nice girl. I'd known her for, I don't know, some 3 years. But when she said one day, because she was going to teach little ones, you see, she said, "Oh, I'd love 6 children." And I thought, no, thank you. I said, "Sorry, Pauline, that's off." But anyhow, she was at Bishop Otter at exactly the same time as my wife was. And my wife was doing this 2 or 3 year course. And I was talking with Pauline, and my wife Joanne, happened to be coming across in sporting gear, a hockey stick, and hair all over the place. And I fell in love at first sight.
And you said, "Hey,
I did.
that could be mine."
Yeah. It was actually love at first sight. I saw her and I thought, "You're just the girl I want, outdoor girl," whereas Pauline wasn't.
How nice is that?
You know, it was simple as that.
Yeah, it's simple. And both, because you just spoke about your wife, was a very sport athletic lady. You did yourself as well, a lot of sports?
I played rugby,
You played rugby.
I played cricket.
That's very unknown in England, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but I played it because, well, you do at school.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I don't know, when it came to the end of, how can I put it? When I was with Pauline, she said, "I've invited Joanne to come and live with us in our apartment that she rents in Brighton."
Beautiful.
My wife didn't want to go home to her family, the church, all her...
She met somebody who she already really likes.
Yeah, exactly. They were there, she was with children all growing up together, the same thing, and she didn't want to go back to it. She said no. So Pauline said, you know, come to Brighton.
Brighton is a very known city.
If I had to go back to England, I'd go back to Brighton.
Because it's opposite the sea, isn't it?
It was right opposite the sea, Brighton and Hove, with lovely walks up on the downs.
Song festivals.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got theatres, it's got cinemas, it's got jazz, and well, you name it, it's got it. So it's one of the best places to live.
Well, one of the best places to live in England.
In England.
In England.
Yes, in England.
Because now we go from England, we translators to Spain. Why Spain? Why this area? Have you been here before on holiday with your wife, or how was that? How
No.
had your wife the same opinion as you to say, let's go to Spain?
We'd never been to Spain, but what we had done was driven with our caravan from Perpignan up to Biarritz,
Yeah.
close enough, and had been walking up in the mountains
Beautiful places.
on the border, but never actually going into Spain. When Franco was still alive, we said we'd stay away from it.
Okay.
It was as simple as that.
Yeah.
When Franco had died, we thought
we come over.
we can come down. And say the doctor, my doctor, had said, you should go and live in a warmer place. You're too cold here. You'll die here if you go, unless you go somewhere else. So I took that to mind that when my wife was retired at 50, I thought, well, she said, what do you want to do? Do you want to carry on working? I said, no.
We go to a warmer place.
Yeah. And within 14 days,
14 days only you decide?
I gave my company actually 6 months.
Yes, I suppose, yeah.
Because my wife said, in 6 months' time, they've offered me early retirement and they see if they can find somebody to fill my place, because she'd been there, say, 28 years. Mm-hmm. And so when she came home, and I've got a lovely retirement photograph in my room. She's very pretty, and you know, girls loved her, and so did the boys, and she was very popular.
Yeah.
Anyway, she said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't want to carry on engineering anymore. Not that I disliked it. I'd had a nervous breakdown part of the time, about 5 years previous. And I thought, I've done enough. I've done enough, you know. I want to see places, more places.
So the first place to come and live in Spain, what name was that?
Here in Benalmadena.
Benalmadena.
I rang up the London Weather Centre. I said, where is the best place to live? No, seriously, in southern Spain. And he said, Benalmadena Costa
He's right.
is the most sheltered and the warmest place on the Costa del Sol.
He's right. It's about 300 sunny days a year.
Yeah.
So I think you did well to come here. And you're happy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Diana.
Diana is the other complex
In
where you
fact,
lived before.
it was a Dutch chappie with a thing down here, what do you call it, a estate agent.
A tour operator, yeah, I remember, yeah.
I was staying in the Sirocco.
Okay.
We'd been in Benalmadena and stayed down there, we came to there, and we thought, no, this is it. And so from the Sirocco, we decided that this was a place to live. He said, there's a nice apartment going if you want it. It's only 1 bedroom, nice lounge, kitchen bar, faces southwest. And I said, let's go and have a look. He said, the owner died in an air crash in South America. He said, his brother wants to sell it. So I rang his brother up with the number. He was in Kent, his brother. He was a lawyer. And I said, I understand you don't wish to have your brother's apartment. He said, no, it's too many memories. And he said, I want to sell it. I said, how much do you want for it? He said, make me an offer. I said, 10,000 cash. That was it. And I said, I've got my lawyer here. I said, and I have the estate. He spoke on the phone. I wrote him out a check for 12,000, and I went round the corner, well, on the corner was a bank.
And that was this house?
No.
Oh, that was another?
That was the apartment, Diana Dos.
Ah, oh, right, okay, sorry.
That was 1951.
Oh, well, that's a long time ago. I even wasn't born. 51.
I mean, I'm 88, well, I'll be 89 May.
You will become 89.
In May.
You're 88 now?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Funny enough.
The world flows away.
Strangely
flies
enough,
away.
Yeah, I had to go to a hospital recently rather urgently. And while I was there, the doctor said to me, "How old are you?" And I said, "So and so." Gosh, he said, I would have given you an age of 65 to 70. I said, "Well, thank you very much." Then 10 minutes later, I actually met the doctor that was just going to have a look at me, you see. And very nice lady. And she was talking to Sue, who took me to the hospital. And she said, "How old?" She said, "Well, have a guess." Maybe heading towards 70. She said, "You're you're way out."
You're way out.
She said, "Your likelihood is you'll live to 100. I mean, my mother lived to 97. Her two sisters lived to 100 each.
Wow.
And my sister, the only one left, is 93 now.
That's a good tree, good family tree.
Yes. So the likelihood is, they said, you'll live much longer than you expected.
Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, how do you feel yourself at the moment?
How do I?
How do you feel?
Fine.
Fine.
I don't feel old.
88. Well, that's what it's all about.
I don't feel old. I never have felt old.
Trevor, that's what it's all about. You feel young inside here. Sometimes body is
always
going
been
a bit
young.
older, but if this is
Yeah.
okay, then
I mean, the fact that I can't go up the mountain, it
wow.
disappoints me terribly. I have to walk on the flat. My knee, you haven't seen, I'll just show you my knee. I had 24 stitches.
All right.
I had this cut out, this taken out, and a new piece put in. It's all nuts and bolts.
And you walk with it perfectly. Well, more or less.
That was July.
But last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was operated here, I suppose.
Yes, in Torremolinos.
Okay.
No, Torremolinos. Yes, Torremolinos.
Santa Elena.
Nothing.
Okay. So
Still hurts.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yes. Well, we had a nice talk about what you did in England. It was very interesting. It was very nice to know about your wife, what she did. You both came here to Benalmadena, to Arroyo, to Torremolinos, because this is now the peace of Torremolinos. You feel happy at your home here in Torremolinos?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, we're a bit greedy, actually. We owned a home in France. We had a house in France, in the countryside.
Okay.
And we bought that. I think my wife wrote something down. Something I'm looking at the other day. Something my wife typed when we used to have a computer.
And where was that in France?
Gascony. Well, the Gers. If you know, do you know France at all?
Well, a little bit.
Well, if you go to the other side of the Pyrenees, you come to
Bordeaux.
No, more to your right.
More to France. More to.
Go midway up.
Oh, okay.
So you were heading up from the Pyrenees, Port, up to Auch, and then to Limoges, and then to Paris.
Ah, Limoges. Okay.
But south of there is Auch, and that region around Auch, D'Artagnan. That's where Bosnia was born. He, Alexander Dumas was born in that part of France.
That area is beautiful as well. I know that, so far as I can remember, a lot of people, aren't there ski orts there? Are there? I think so, isn't it?
Are there?
Skiing orts, to do winter skiing.
Well, in the Pyrenees and so on.
Yeah, Pyrenees. But in the south of France as well, so far as I know. A lot of people, they go to people from Holland, they go to Austria, they go to Switzerland, and they go to the south of France. Maybe they go to the Pyrenees. That's possible. I don't know. So but
Yes, it would be the Pyrenees.
that should be, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the snow is. Yeah.
So a part of your immigration from GB to Spain, a part of this, because you told me out of camera that you're not are going so out so many times, but in, let me say, the good years for your body, what have you met in Spain, in Andalusia, or where have you been? What is what you know around this, the surroundings?
Well, the countryside.
Yes.
Well, these pictures here,
Yeah.
and there. Well, that's Irun. That is.
The camera will later on take some pictures of it, if you don't mind.
We started a walking club, my
Here,
wife and I.
here.
Yes.
Okay.
In 1990, we started a walking club. We realised that we've enjoyed walking here since 1978. And the fact that there were a lot of people holidaying who probably would want to walk, but don't know where to start. Where did they go, you see? And so 6 of us, all told, you might say. We had 2 other couples we knew, and they all walked here. So we said, look, let's go to
Together?
Let's join up and get some more walks and form a club. And that's what we did. We formed this club. It's called the Field Club. You can look it up on your computer if you've got one. It's the fieldclub.org or Fuengirola. And my wife and I say, and these other couples, that they're all dead now, except me. They've all died. And it's been going, and I might be still going, because when we came back from France and the cancer was, you know, and I was getting pretty ill all of a sudden, I haven't walked since.
Okay.
That was 2013.
That's already nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, so from 1997 till then, I've walked.
Everything.
Yeah.
You walked the last 10 years double.
Yes,
Can
I mean,
imagine
it just sort of ruined my life, the cancer. That was it.
Yeah. But if you like the sun, I suppose you like the Spanish sun, and the higher temperature, because you need those vitamins, what we call the D peaks. The Mediterranean coast will be ideal, and is ideal so far as I know. Whatever, if it is from Catalonia to Andalusia. And you won't find a single autonomous community that can let you down. So you settled here in Torremolinos, but there are very nice places as well around us. Yeah, we go to Fuengirola or Benalmadena or even Marbella, a little bit further on. Not to taking the south coast because that's too windy probably, but this side of the Mediterranean is absolutely, I think, marvelous for people for retirement.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, I've not understood really why more people have come sooner. I mean, the accommodation, what have you, is here, but of course now Spain have ruined it for people who are pensioners because their pension wouldn't be enough.
That is a problem, yeah. That's for a lot of people a problem. And there we can talk hours and hours and hours. But,
yes, I mean,
but that's true.
Enough people don't save, whereas my wife and I have always been great savers. And so we've been a bit greedy. All the time we've had 2 homes. we had our home in France for 14 years until, in a sense, we both said, we're getting too old for this. We had 1,400 square meters of garden
Plot, yeah.
with our house on it, and nothing else near. And the nearest houses either side were, what?
Kilometers away.
Well, not kilometers, but you know, you could just about see them. And over the back, Monsieur and Madame Elral kept their cow, 13 cows. I don't know why 13, but only had 13. I thought, bloody hell, lucky you. But yes.
But I, as well, I think, Trevor, that our parents said to us, listen, even if you make good money in your business life, put some money away for later.
Oh, yes.
That was, you know, beginning 1900 and later on, that was something what was, you couldn't forget that. You have to do that, even if you say, okay, I nearly can't, but...
Oh, no, I mean, when my wife was, say, offered retirement, I spoke with lawyers and investors from the teaching profession that looked after teachers, because most teachers earn good retirement pensions if they've got a decent, you know, not just being head of a department and head of middle school. My wife was earning a good salary, and so her pension was very good. And my pension's not bad, and I have a private pension as well. And consequently, we had enough money to run 2 homes, 2 cars. We always had 2 cars. All our married life, we've had 2 cars. I had a big estate car, and we've had 4 caravans. I don't mean them here they're called caravans, the motorised one. No. We towed ours. We kept it in Churiana.
Caravana.
Yeah. We kept it in Churiana.
Yeah.
And
well, all that brings as well away that because you were lucky, you were an engineer. And, you know, engineers become normally a quite good salary. And teachers as well, in the time you've done it. So in the 50s, 60s. But today, if you go to the prices what they offer, or the salaries they offer, are so lower than then. And that is a problem, what you said before, for what we have today. So all that is kind of discussion, but it's a problem.
It's a problem. It's a
problem. Yeah. What I say as well, that wherever you go in Spain, you will live the history of Spain and can be immersed in it. Have you ever been to Ronda?
Yes.
You like it?
Not particularly, no. The countryside to the right of it, Grazalema, that sort of region.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, that picture there comes from Grazalema. That's a local artist.
The wettest place in Spain, you know that?
Yes. But it's never been wet when I've been there.
But it is.
I've been there 1,001 times.
But it is really wet there. When a couple of months ago again, when it was raining, some raining here, over there, thousands of liters. It's unbelievable, and it's very, very green. It's extremely green. I like it very much up there.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's got a beautiful Roman road.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, if you walk all the way down there to El Bosque.
Algadonales, El Bosque, yeah, beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I mean, we've found parts of Roman roads there. In fact, I've got a picture in the other room there. There's my wife walking over a bridge on a Roman road, having taken, you know, club members for a walk, and they're all saying, go one behind the other. Don't, the vibration, the bloody lot will collapse. You know?
There are old bridges in Spain. Sometimes you see in wherever you go, if you have the pantanos in Spain, you know, where we all get the water together, the drink water, what we have on the coast. If it's low, like this moment, sometimes coming up houses old buildings which normally are underwater. And there you see sometimes, you know, how it was centuries before, or long time before. So anyway, which part of Spain did you already discover, Trevor? You told me something about the north of Spain. You know Madrid, for example?
Well, I know we used to fly up, a group of us, from the club, from Malaga to the north of Spain.
Okay.
And go walking.
All right.
In a place called...
Well, and which autonomic provinces you went? Like Asturias or...
Asturias.
Ah, beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. I have some friends. The husband I met walking in Mulhacén.
And Mulhacén.
Yeah, because I've walked up
the
there
Sierra Nevada.
2 or 3 times. Well, it's about, I don't know, 11,000 something odd feet. If you walk up from the 3 villages, it looks a long way, but it's not so far.
I've never done it, but it's the Sierra Nevada, Mulhacén.
Yeah, it's there in Trevelez.
Beautiful, yeah.
Walks up to Trevelez. Yes, it's beautiful walking there. You know,
but that's what we call the other side of the Sierra Nevada, the Alpujarras.
Alpujarras.
You just mentioned the Trevelez with the beautiful ham. They dry all the ham there. Well, a lot of hams. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of hams are there.
They're everywhere.
All where you look. When I went the first time up, Trevor, I tell you, I said, oh, some nice hotels there, but it was just for the wind coming in to dry them, you know.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's really unbelievable.
Oh yes, we've been up there in the snow and it's quite mad.
I think today could be cold over there.
Oh,
like
very
a day
cold,
like today, yeah. Have you you've been to the Alpujarra? That's what you told me, isn't it? So if we say the quality of life, we have the Costa del Sol, which is perfectly to live and have the sun. Sometimes I said to friends, well, there aren't that much places here where you can lie on the beach in the same day stay on the ski.
Yeah.
So if you go a little bit up to the north, let's say into the province of Granada, you can lay in the sun in Almuñécar and you take the car and a few hours later you are skiing. There are not many places in the world where you can do that.
No.
It's unusual.
Yes, I remember reading that, and then I've been so many times to Granada, not necessarily going past to go up to, in fact, go to our home in France. Uh-huh. We used to go up to a place where you should turn off on the N410, and you'd cut all the way across to Zaragoza, then up to Huesca, and then had to climb all the way up over the mountain.
You discovered Spain.
Now you go straight through the tunnel, and it takes, 10 minutes.
Did you ever did the Camino de Santiago?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
You did it in the time with your wife? With your wife? You did that walk from the Santiago walk?
I've done part of it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, because from our home there, you could walk there on the walk.
It's a beautiful walk as well.
Yes. There. I mean, that's all I've really done, I suppose, in our retirement, is walk and cycle.
Yeah.
We cycled on the canals, south of Paris, Auxerre, the river Niveres, and you can cycle 60, 70 miles, on that. And we used to do 40-mile stages. So with the caravan, we just used to move the caravan further on and do the next section. And we've done that all over the place there, in Germany, and
You are a discovering man. I tell you. You told me that in the last years, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you are not really going out. But before that, you went with your wife many times back to England, to family?
No, hardly ever. No, my mother died in 2007, and I have a son in England, but we don't talk, you know. But no, we always, I mean, we took cruises. Every year we took a cruise.
Tell me something about that.
Most Februaries, March, we took a cruise.
Yeah, and you start in Malaga or you start somewhere else?
No. We used to fly sometimes.
To Southampton or?
Oh, no, far away to...
to the Caribbean or something like that?
Further than that, Australia.
Oh, right.
We used to fly to...
Perth, Sydney?
Sydney.
Yeah.
Have a day or so there, join a ship, and come all the way back to Malaga.
I beg your pardon?
Yes.
That's at least 2 months.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
And 1 day.
Wow.
Yes.
Oof, I remember. I once in my life I had the luck to accompany my parents to South America, to Buenos Aires. That's 19 days till 21 days. Then that company was an English company called the Royal Mail Lines, and they changed South America for Australia because that was more profit. That was double. It was about 6 weeks. So I can imagine if you are in Sydney and come back with a boat, with a ship, with a cruise ship.
It used to go all the way up the side of Australia, calling it all the places, Brisbane,
that
right
takes
the way up
time.
to top,
Takes time. Yeah.
up to the Cape York, which are right opposite Borneo and those other places.
Oh,
and then across the Gulf of Carpentera to Darwin, and then
Darwin, South Africa.
No, Darwin, North Australia.
Ah, sorry. Yes.
It's up the top.
Yeah.
Opposite Indonesia's, and then you cross into Indonesia and go to Bali.
Yeah. Amazing.
Another couple of places.
Amazing.
And then carry on.
Which years were that?
I don't know.
And 90s?
Not that terribly long ago. I suppose 2000.
Wow, fantastic. Beautiful.
2000. The Fred Olsen line had a ship called the Black Prince, and we'd been on that once, going down to South America, Montevideo, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uruguay.
And the ship was going out of commission, and they wrote to all the people that were in Fred Olsen, you know, like this club, as you might say, and said, this ship's going out of commission. Do you want to go? But you don't know where you're going, but do you want to go on it? So I said to my wife, do you want to go on a mystery cruise? She said, oh yes, yeah, that'd be nice. I said to them over the phone, yeah, put my wife and I's name down, you see. When we got to Heathrow, the whole load of people were at Heathrow, and they met in a certain place, and then they all said, well, where are we going? They said, wait to be all queue up, you see, and you're handing your license, your passport and what have you. We flew to Cuba.
Okay.
And at Cuba, we picked up a liner, and we went across to Mexico to, I forget the name of the place.
Acapulco? Whatever.
It's top of Mexico.
Okay.
Yucatan Peninsula, that bit there. We went all the way down that coast to Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, right the way down to South America, to Colombia, yeah. And then round and back up to Jamaica, and it's a couple of islands, and then back to Cuba. And that was 3 weeks.
You haven't been to the hairdresser in Jamaica to make the...
Yeah.
And to hear the good music?
God. I can tell you, we went to one, I said to my wife, I must get my hair cut. I forget where it was. Because we had a lot of investments offshore. You know, not anywhere near here, but what do you call it? Northern Ireland, Isle of Man,
Yeah.
you know, places.
Offshore.
Yeah. But there were a couple of places.
Oh yeah, Belize, some of those, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, that was all very interesting, you know, that. And what the funny part about it, when the last part, we went ashore at Cuba, but where Cuba is like that, we went down this side and we've holidayed. There's a lovely group of islands off Cuba. In fact, I've got a piece of music actually from there.
Yeah.
It's got the
Well,
name.
leave it.
It's got the name written on it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, there are a group of islands south of Cuba, about 4, and they're gorgeous. They've got iguanas where you can feed, you know, they're only this big. And it's lovely, you know, lovely and quiet. We've been there a couple of times, but the food is terrible. If you go there, you want to lose weight, go to Cuba. They've never got any decent food. In fact, we stayed in a 5-star hotel in Havana, and we went down in the morning thinking we'd have breakfast.
Was it the National Hotel?
Oh,
Hotel
yeah.
Nacional?
Yeah, smart hotel, you know. There's nothing to eat.
Nothing to eat.
Oh. We said, what about breakfast? They said,
Cuba is different.
I wouldn't
Still.
go there. I wouldn't advise anybody to go there.
Still. No, so, you know, if you go to Cuba, you go to the resorts, and that's mainly in hands of Spanish people, American people. But I can understand that life there is different like here, yes.
Oh, shocking the way they treat the people. Terrible.
Well, I've been there and I like the people,
They
to be
think
honest.
they still thinking Che Guevara and all this is still there. You know, up here.
The brain is different, everything is different. The people would like to have other chances, but they don't let them. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Let's change the conversation.
Yes.
If you live alone, are you a good cook?
Yes.
You are a good cook.
My mother, when we were at home, said, it's your turn to do this, that, and the other, and I'll show you how to do it. So I don't starve. No. I'm quite happy for cooking.
Okay. What is your favorite plate?
Place?
No, plate. What you cook? Your favorite food?
I don't have it. Any.
Many of them.
I don't actually love food at all.
Oh,
Really.
really?
I don't like food. I
And-
don't like fish.
And a drink?
I don't drink at all. I don't smoke and don't drink.
Well,
Seriously.
I can.
I
Yeah.
drink orange juice, water, and
For the body, it's perfect.
pomelo. Pomelo?
Pomelo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good for the body.
That's all. That's all.
That's good for the body. A little bit of food of that. and
My
then
wife
that's
never
fine,
uses
that's fine.
drink or
so,
smoke.
Going out restaurants, no.
No.
You just.
I haven't been to a restaurant. 2011.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Trevor, a bird is saying to me what I say, that the time is nearly on. The time is gone. We have nearly 50 minutes talking here. It flies away, you know, and that's beautiful. It's nice to talk with somebody who's been traveling around the world, starting as an engineer, finding his wife as a school teacher, and finally they came to Spain. So I think that a lot of people, a lot of English people, but not, I would say like the European community, Spain is, sometimes I say it more, it's like a marvelous part of the world, because the climate is good, the sea is a bit too cold in the winter, but in the summer it's an amazing place here. So I would like to thank you very much for your hospitality, for your very nice talking as two members of, I don't know, the friendship members we can call it. I wish you a long life, healthy life. And I would like to say to my guests at home, I hope you like this program of lifestyle. And I just want to say, we will see you very soon, the next time. And thank you so much for watching.